Hello everyone, Namos here, and I'm making this video to show you guys how to download Anaconda and how to configure the Anaconda environments for your packages, and then how to use that Anaconda environment in your PyCharm IDE to create projects. I think it makes it extremely easy for us to make projects and not to be worried about the packages and the libraries which are needed. So let's begin. You want to install Anaconda, so you go ahead and search Anaconda on Google. You're going to open the first site that comes. Click on download. Now, as per your OS, you have to choose the version. So mine is Windows, so I'm going to click on Windows. And then I'm going to download the 64-bit graphical installer. So it's going to start downloading, and I'm going to skip to the point where it finishes downloading. Okay, so the download is complete, and now we're going to go ahead and install the Anaconda prompt. You want to click next. I agree. Just me. You can do it for all users, but an Anaconda already exists on another account, so I'm not gonna do this one. I'm just gonna use it for this account. I'm gonna go ahead, choose your path, and now in the advanced options, you don't wanna take this, right? You just wanna go with this. I don't wanna get into why, but just do this. You're gonna wait for it to install. It's gonna take a little amount of time. It's gonna take about 7 to 10 minutes to install, depending upon your PC. So you're just gonna have to wait it out. And I'll skip to the point where it finishes installing. So the installation is complete, and now we're gonna run the Anaconda prompt. You just click finish. So how you want to start Anaconda is completely up to you. You can either use the graphical version of Anaconda, which is the navigator, or which I prefer is to use the Anaconda prompt because I like it extremely clean. So I'm gonna show you how to do it with the Anaconda prompt. Now I'm gonna show you how to create an environment and how to configure your packages and download your libraries that you're gonna use for your project. So this is how you do it. So see, I don't remember the commands for the Anaconda prompt, so that's not a big problem. You can always open and search about how to create environments in Anaconda. So just search it out. It's gonna show you a documentation. Just open it. Yeah, okay. So this is how you create an environment. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Conda, oops, Conda create name my demo. Okay. So it's gonna create an environment. That's it. Your environment is ready. You're gonna press Y and just let it create the environment. Okay. So it says that to activate this environment, use conda activate my demo. So before you install any packages, if you install any packages here, then it's gonna install them globally. But I think it's a good practice to have different environments for different projects because you don't want to mix it all up, right? So I'm gonna activate this environment first. So conda activate my demo. So you can see that it's gonna change this to my demo. That means the environment is activated, and then you can start downloading your packages here. So there are two ways to download packages in Anaconda, and you can do them by either using pip, which is the Python install, or you can use conda install. I prefer using conda install because I've been doing that since a long time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and download. So for example, if I want to install the TensorFlow GPU version, then what I'm gonna do is after the environment is activated, I'm gonna do conda space install TensorFlow GPU, right? So what it's going to do is start collecting the metadata, and it's going to list down all the packages and all the Python libraries that come with it so that you can go ahead and press Y and download it. So it's going to take some amount of time to download them because some packages are relatively bigger in size compared to the others. So we're just going to wait it out, and I'm going to skip to the point once the packages have finished downloading. Okay, so the packages have finished downloading, and you have all the packages installed here. So this environment is ready for ready to be used in PyCharm IDE. So what you're gonna do is, in case you want to check what environments you have, then you can scroll down into C drive, users, your user ID dot conda, sorry my bad, Anaconda 3, then go into environments, and then you can see this one, right? We just created this one, so my demo. So what it's gonna have is gonna have some metadata, DLLs, library files, but the most important thing is it's gonna have a python.exe. So this Python exe is the one you want to use with your project. You see, different Pythons have different libraries installed. So as we created this environment, it means that we're gonna create a what can I say, a Python container which has different libraries installed in it, so that you can use it with your project. So this is the Python we're gonna use with our project. So I'm gonna start PyCharm now. So I'm gonna wait for the PyCharm to open. You can also use Jupyter notebooks, but I prefer PyCharm because I can structure the project. Like I can create directories and I can create files in them. So I prefer using PyCharm compared to Jupyter Notebook. But if you want to do a demo, or you want to, for example, say you want to visualize something, then a Jupyter Notebook is much better because you don't have to run the whole code again and again, right? So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a new project. I'm gonna name it my demo project environment. So what you're gonna do is you want to use an existing interpreter, right? The interpreter is the Python we're gonna use with this project. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press this, and we're gonna choose. We made a Conda environment, right? So we're gonna use a Conda environment, and we're gonna browse to the path of the Conda environment. So as we know that it's in C, users, the user you're using, you're logged into, and then you're gonna browse to Anaconda 3, your environments, and in the environments you're gonna have to choose the Python which you want to use with this project. So you click on the Python, you click OK. So it's gonna select the python.exe, and you can make it available to all the projects. Say for example, if you have a common machine learning environment in which you have installed matplotlib, numpy, let's say scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch. So you can use it for all the projects. So you can check this option, but I'm not going to do it in this tutorial. I'm going to press OK. So it's going to select this python.exe, this interpreter, and I'm going to click on create. So it's going to load the project. It's going to scan files, and it's going to use the interpreter with this. So it's going to have all the packages installed. So once this is done, I'm going to show you how you can create a Python file and just start using all the packages you have installed in the environment. So it's gonna take a while because this thing goes on. It's gonna index all the libraries and the packages. So it's configuring the interpreter with this project. So you'll have to wait for some time. Okay, so it's done, right? So this is your folder, this my demo. You can also see it in this project folder. You can browse to it by going to C, users, demo, PyCharm projects, and here it is, right? It's empty, it's empty. There's no Python file, nothing inside it. So there's nothing here. So say for example, you have an existing file somewhere on your desktop, right? You have a Python file here. You can move it to this folder, the PyCharm projects folder, and it's gonna show up here. So for example, let me show you something. If I make a hello.txt file here, and I copy it and I paste it in my PyCharm projects folder in the my demo folder, right? So it's gonna show up here. It's gonna show up here, right? So I'm gonna delete it for now. Now, so for example, you don't have any existing Python files on your desktop or in any other directory, right? And you want to create one here. So it's easy. You just right click on this. Oops. But yeah. So you right click on my demo, you go to Python file, and you just create a Python file. Say for example, my main.py, right? Click main.py. So as I mentioned that you can, the TensorFlow is already installed in the environment, and we're using the environment's interpreter in this, right? So you can already import all your um, libraries here. So see, you can install, you can import TensorFlow, right? So I'm gonna import Keras, and I'm gonna show you a small example that you can run it, right? So I'm going to use a base model. You can ignore this. It's not important for you to install and work with Anaconda. It's just a demo, so I can show you guys that it does use the TensorFlow library. So you go ahead, right click on this, and you can run the project, and you can see the output, right? Oops, it shows some. Oops, I forgot to call the constructor. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So you go ahead and run this, and it's going to show you the model summary, which is not at all important, but I just want to show you that this is how you can install packages and use them in your PyCharm IDE, right? So it's simple as that. Uh, Let this execute, and then I'm going to show you something else. So basically, you can close this now. You don't need that. You just needed the Anaconda prompt to create an environment, but then once it's done, you don't need it, right? You can use the environment from here as well. So this is the output, which proves that your libraries have been installed successfully. You don't even need to run anything. If you just write import TensorFlow and it shows up there, that means the library is installed. So you don't need to do anything else. Now, say for example, I want to install OpenCV, right? And so what would you think that you should do is open Anaconda prompt and then go ahead and activate your environment? No, that's not what you have to do. You click on terminal and it's going to show you the environment which is activated, and you just go ahead and type conda, or maybe let's say pip install OpenCV Python, right? So it's gonna collect the package and then it's gonna install it, and then once it's finished installing, it's gonna update the skeletons for the interpreter, right? It's gonna update the skeletons, and once that's done, your project has been configured with those packages and those libraries, so you can use them here again. So I'm gonna show you once this finishes updating the skeletons, I'm gonna show you that we can import OpenCV here. So every time you want to install a new library, you don't have to do anything. You can close your PyCharm and you can open this project and you can just start working straight off the shelf. Like if you want to install something, go to terminal, click on terminal and just conda install or pip install or do something like that, and you're going to install your libraries, and then you can just use them here and run them, right? So it's finished updating its skeletons. So I'm going to show you that we can import the module CV2. It's here, right? So that means we have successfully installed the libraries, and that is how you use Anaconda with PyCharm. And I think it's an amazing way to work on projects, because I can create directories, and I can create files inside those directories, and I can just structure my project, right? And I can just choose what I want to work on instead of having to open them using Sublime or something like that, because you have to then open them individually. So I think this is a good practice of making a project, and this is also how I make projects to be uploaded on GitHub, and then I just upload the whole directory by pushing it to the master origin. So this was a tutorial for using Anaconda with PyCharm, and I think this is going to help a lot of people um, work more efficiently towards their projects. And I hope you learned something from this, and I hope this is going to help you. So thanks for watching, and